Don't take that medication, please. Jennifer, my pharmacist of 20 years, whispered those words as she locked the consultation room door behind us. My hands trembled as I held the prescription bag. I need to show you something before you leave, Mrs. Williams. The police are on their way. That Tuesday afternoon, I'd driven to Thompson's pharmacy like I did every month, expecting nothing more than picking up my blood pressure medication and maybe chatting about the weather. I'm Dorothy Williams, 63 years old, and I'd been a widow for just over 2 years. My husband Robert passed from a sudden heart attack, leaving me alone in our home of 40 years in the small town of Millbrook, Vermont. I thought I was managing well. I thought I was doing everything right. But standing in that consultation room, watching Jennifer's hands shake as she pulled up something on her computer, I realized how terribly wrong I'd been. Let me back up to help you understand how I got there. When Robert died, I was lost. We'd been married since I was 21. He handled our finances, our insurance, our investments. I'd been a librarian for 37 years before retiring, and I was good at research, good at organizing information, but our personal affairs, that was always Robert's domain. After the funeral, I found myself drowning in paperwork, legal documents, insurance claims, estate matters. Everything felt overwhelming. That's when my stepdaughter Amanda stepped in. Amanda was Robert's daughter from his first marriage, though that marriage had ended when Amanda was just a toddler. Robert had raised her mostly on his own, and she'd always been, well, cordial with me. We weren't close, but we were family. After Robert died, Amanda started visiting more often. She'd bring her husband Craig, and they'd help me sort through Robert's papers, help me understand the insurance policies and investment accounts. "Dorothy, you look exhausted," Amanda had said one evening about 3 months after Robert's funeral. "Let me help you with this paperwork. You shouldn't have to deal with all this stress alone." I'd been grateful. She'd taken copies of documents, said she'd organize everything into folders, make it easier for me to understand. Craig, who worked in financial services, offered to review Robert's investment portfolio. They seemed so concerned, so helpful. But then the symptoms started. At first, I thought it was just grief. I'd feel dizzy, disoriented. I'd forget where I put things, forget appointments. My hands would shake. Some mornings, I'd wake up confused about what day it was. My neighbor, Patricia, mentioned I seemed not myself when I forgot our Tuesday morning coffee date 3 weeks in a row. "Maybe you should see your doctor," she'd suggested gently. "Grief can do strange things to our bodies." I did see Dr. Chen. He ran tests. Everything came back normal, but he increased my blood pressure medication slightly and added something to help me sleep. The prescription bottle said 1 pill at bedtime, but I'd been taking 2 because I couldn't remember if I'd taken the first one. The brain fog was getting worse. Amanda noticed too. "Dorothy, I'm worried about you," she'd said during one visit. "You seem so confused lately. Maybe we should talk about getting you some extra help around the house. Or maybe we should discuss putting some legal protections in place. Just in case." Just in case of what? I'd wondered, but I was too tired to ask. That's what my life had become in those months after Robert died. A fog of confusion, fatigue, and well-meaning people telling me I wasn't managing well. Which brings me back to that Tuesday at the pharmacy. I'd handed my prescription to Jennifer at the counter like always. She'd smiled, said she'd have it ready in 15 minutes. I'd wandered the aisles, looking at reading glasses I didn't need, hand cream I already had 3 bottles of at home. When I came back to the counter, Jennifer's smile was gone. "Mrs. Williams, could you come with me to the consultation room? I need to discuss your medication with you privately." I'd followed her, confused. Had Dr. Chen prescribed something wrong? Was there a problem with my insurance? Jennifer closed the door, and that's when she said it. "Don't take that medication, please." I stared at her. "I'm sorry, what?" She pulled up her computer screen and turned it toward me. "Mrs. Williams, how often do you refill your prescriptions?" "Once a month," I said. "Always have." "According to our records, your blood pressure medication has been refilled 8 times in the past 3 months. I shook my head. "That's not possible. I only come once a month." "I know." Jennifer's voice was steady, but her hands weren't. "Someone else has been picking up prescriptions in your name. The insurance allows for early refills if you're going on vacation or if pills are lost. Someone's been calling in, saying you're traveling or you dropped the bottle down the drain. They've been picking up extra bottles. Do you know who? My mind raced. Amanda sometimes picks up my prescriptions if she's here visiting. She has my insurance card information. But she'd only get one bottle, the one I need. Mrs. Williams, someone's been getting double doses, sometimes triple doses, of your medication. If you're taking what you should be taking, there are extra pills somewhere. And if you're taking the extra pills, she paused, the dosage in your prescription combined with the frequency these are being refilled. If someone were taking all these pills, it would be dangerous. Very dangerous. The room felt smaller suddenly. What are you saying? I'm saying I filed a report with the police yesterday. I've been watching this pattern for 6 weeks, and it finally clicked when I saw the pickup log. The same person has picked up the last 4 refills, all ahead of schedule. And Mrs. Williams. She pulled out another document. This isn't just your blood pressure medication. There are also prescriptions here for sleep aids, anti-anxiety medication, blood thinners, medications you've never been prescribed before, all filled in the last 2 months at our sister pharmacy across town. My head was spinning, but not from the fog I'd been living in. This was different. This was clarity breaking through, sharp and terrifying. I haven't been prescribed those things. I know. But someone's been filling them using your insurance information. And when I cross-referenced the pickup times, she showed me the screen. Every single pickup had the same signature. Neat, precise handwriting I'd seen 100 times on my own mail, on the notes left on my kitchen counter. Amanda's signature. I sat down hard in the chair. I don't understand. Mrs. Williams, I think someone's been giving you medication you shouldn't be taking. The symptoms you've been having, the confusion, the dizziness, the memory problems, those are consistent with medication interactions and overdosing. And I think someone's been stockpiling medication in your name. There was a knock on the door. Jennifer opened it, and a woman in plain clothes showed me a badge. Mrs. Williams, I'm Detective Sarah Morrison. I need to ask you some questions about your prescriptions and your medical care. The next 3 hours were a blur of questions. Records, phone calls. Detective Morrison was thorough. She wanted to know everything. Who had access to my home? Who handled my medications? Who helped with my insurance? Who had keys to my house? Amanda. 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 The answer kept coming back to Amanda. Mrs. Williams, I need to ask you something sensitive, Detective Morrison said as we sat in the small pharmacy office. After your husband passed, did you sign any legal documents? Power of attorney, perhaps? No, I said firmly. Robert and I discussed it years ago, but we never did it. He always said we'd get to it, and then... I swallowed. Then he died. Are you certain? Absolutely. Amanda mentioned it recently, said we should discuss it, but we never actually did anything about it. Detective Morrison exchanged a glance with her partner, a younger man named Officer Chen. Mrs. Williams, we're going to need you to come with us. There's something we need to check at the county clerk's office. At the county clerk's office, they pulled documents I'd never seen before. Power of attorney papers filed 3 months ago, giving Amanda complete authority over my medical decisions and financial affairs. The signature at the bottom looked like mine, but I'd never signed it. I'd never even seen these papers. This isn't my signature, I said, my voice shaking. I never signed this. We're going to need a handwriting expert to verify that, Detective Morrison said. But Mrs. Williams, if this is forged, combined with the prescription fraud, we're looking at elder abuse, fraud, possibly attempted. She stopped herself. Attempted what? I asked, though I already knew. We need to investigate further. But I need you to be very careful. Don't let anyone know you've talked to us. Can you do that? I nodded, though my whole body was shaking. They drove me home. My house looked the same as always, the garden Robert had planted, the porch swing we'd sat on every summer evening. But now it felt different, dangerous. We're going to post an officer nearby, Detective Morrison said. We need you to act normally. If Amanda calls, if she visits, you need to pretend everything is fine. Can you do that? I think so. Check your medication bottles. All of them. Don't take anything until we can verify what's actually in them. After they left, I went to my bathroom cabinet with shaking hands. I pulled out my pill bottles, the ones I took every day without question. The labels said blood pressure medication, but when I opened them, some pills looked different. Different shapes, different colors than what I remembered. I sat on my bathroom floor and cried. How long had this been happening? How long had Amanda been, what? Poisoning me? Planning to kill me? My phone rang. Amanda's name lit up the screen. Dorothy? Just checking on you. I'm going to stop by tomorrow with those papers we discussed. The ones about Dad's estate. There are a few things we need to finalize. My voice sounded strange to my own ears. Too high, too bright. Oh, that's fine, dear. What time? How about 2 o'clock? Craig will come too. We want to make sure everything's handled properly. After I hung up, I called Detective Morrison. She's coming tomorrow. 2 o'clock. She says she wants to finalize estate papers. Perfect, the detective said. Mrs. Williams, I need you to wear a wire. We need to get her talking. Can you do that? I thought about Robert. About our 40 years together. About how he'd loved Amanda despite everything. How he'd tried so hard to be a good father to her. About how I'd welcomed her into our lives, into our home. About how she'd sat at his funeral and cried, or at least I'd thought she was crying. Yes, I said. I can do that. The next day, a female officer came to my house at noon. She was dressed in casual clothes, looked like she could have been anyone. She fitted me with a tiny microphone, showed me how it worked, what to do. Try to get her to talk about the medications, she instructed. About the power of attorney, about your husband's estate. We need her to admit what she's been doing. At exactly 2 o'clock, Amanda's car pulled into my driveway. She and Craig both got out, Craig carrying a briefcase that probably held more forged documents. I opened the door, smiled like I'd smiled at them 100 times before. Come in, come in. I just made coffee. We sat at my kitchen table. The same table where Robert and I had eaten breakfast every morning for 40 years. Amanda pulled out papers, started explaining things I didn't understand, or at least things I pretended not to understand. So, you see, Dorothy, with Dad gone, we need to make sure everything's properly distributed. Now, I've been managing your accounts like we discussed. I don't remember discussing that, I said carefully. Amanda's smile didn't waver. Oh, you signed the papers months ago, remember? The power of attorney? You were feeling so overwhelmed. I was feeling poorly, I said. I've been feeling strange for months now. Dizzy. Confused. Well, that's why it's good you have us to help, Craig interjected smoothly. At your age, these things happen. The stress of losing Robert, the natural decline. I'm 63, I said, harder than I meant to. Not 90. Amanda reached over and patted my hand. Dorothy, we're just trying to help. You haven't been yourself. Taking the wrong medications, forgetting things. We're worried about you. What medications? I asked. Dr. Chen only prescribed blood pressure pills. Well, yes, but you needed other things too, Amanda said. For the anxiety, for sleeping. I've been picking them up for you, making sure you take the right doses. Have you? I looked at her directly. Jennifer at the pharmacy said someone's been picking up a lot of prescriptions in my name. For just a moment, I saw it, a flash of something in Amanda's eyes. Fear? Anger? Then the smile was back. Jennifer's mistaken. I only pick up what you need. She showed me the records. Amanda. 8 refills in 3 months of my blood pressure medication alone. Craig stood up. Dorothy, I think maybe you're confused again. This is exactly why we need to finalize these documents. For your own protection. Protection from what? From yourself. Amanda's voice rose. You're not capable of managing your own affairs anymore. Dad left everything to you, everything, and you're going to waste it all because you can't think straight. There it was. The real Amanda. The one hiding behind the concerned daughter act. He left it to me because he loved me, I said quietly. We were married for 42 years. You were married to him for 42 years, Amanda spat. I was his daughter for his entire life. I should have inherited. Not you. Not some second wife who showed up when he was already middle-aged. I was 21 when we met, I said, and I loved your father. You loved his money, Craig said. The house, the insurance, the retirement accounts, $500,000 in life insurance alone, and it all went to you. Amanda must have realized she'd said too much. She tried to smile again. "Dorothy, let's not fight. Let's just sign these papers. Craig and I will take care of everything. You won't have to worry about anything." "Because I'll be too medicated to know what's happening?" I asked. "Or because you're planning to make sure I don't worry about anything ever again?" Amanda stood up so fast, her chair fell over. "What are you implying?" "I'm not implying anything. I'm saying it directly. You've been forging documents, stealing medication, and I think you've been trying to kill me." The front door burst open. Detective Morrison, Officer Chen, and 3 uniformed officers flooded into my kitchen. "Amanda Richardson and Craig Richardson, you're under arrest for elder abuse, fraud, forgery, and attempted murder." The look on Amanda's face was something I'll never forget. Pure hatred, no more masks. "You stupid old woman," she hissed as they handcuffed her. "You were supposed to just die quietly. Dad's death was an accident, but yours? Yours would have been a mercy. You've been so confused, so sick. Everyone would have understood when you accidentally took too many pills." "Keep talking," Detective Morrison said. "We're getting all of this." They took Amanda and Craig away. I sat at my kitchen table and shook. An officer stayed with me, made me tea, called my neighbor Patricia to come sit with me. The investigation took months. Forensic accountants found that Amanda and Craig had already transferred nearly $70,000 from my accounts using the forged power of attorney. The handwriting expert confirmed I'd never signed those documents. The medications in my pill bottles were tested. Some were double the strength they should have been. Others were sleep aids and blood thinners I'd never been prescribed. "If I'd kept taking them at the rate Amanda was providing them, Doctor," Chen testified, "I would have had a fatal overdose or stroke within months." The trial was difficult. Watching Amanda sit in that courtroom, listening to her lawyers try to claim I was confused, that I'd consented to everything, that she was just a concerned daughter trying to help. But the evidence was overwhelming. The forged signatures, the prescription fraud, the recorded confession in my kitchen. The jury took 4 hours to convict on all counts. Amanda got 15 years. Craig got 12. I should have felt victorious, but mostly I just felt tired and sad. Robert would have been heartbroken. But something Jennifer said to me one day stuck with me. I'd gone back to the pharmacy to thank her, to tell her the trial was over. "Mrs. Williams, you know why I noticed?" she said. "My grandmother, she died 10 years ago, and the signs were there, but we didn't see them. Her caregiver was stealing from her, over-medicating her. By the time we figured it out, it was too late. I promised myself I'd never miss the signs again." That's when I realized this wasn't just about me and Amanda. This was happening to people every day. Elderly people, widows, widowers, people who trusted their family members to help them. I started volunteering at the senior center. I created a program called Protecting Yourself After Loss. I taught people what to watch for, how to protect their finances, how to verify medications, how to question legal documents. The local police department asked me to speak at community events. The library, my library, where I'd worked for nearly 4 decades, created a resource center with information about elder abuse. Jennifer received an award from the State Pharmacy Board for her vigilance. At the ceremony, I hugged her tight and whispered, "You saved my life." "No," she said, "you saved your own life. I just pointed out what was happening. You're the one who was brave enough to face it." It's been 3 years now. I'm 66 years old, and I'm more alert, more active, more engaged than I was at 63. The fog lifted once I stopped taking Amanda's extra medications. My house is still my house. My garden still blooms every summer. Patricia and I still have our Tuesday coffee dates, and I never miss them now. Sometimes people ask me if I regret turning Amanda in, if I wish I'd handled it differently. I think about Robert, about the man he was. He was kind, but he was also he believed in doing the right thing, even when it was hard. He would have been devastated by what Amanda did, but he also would have wanted justice. More than that, I think about all the other Dorothys out there, the widows and widowers who trust the wrong people, who think confusion and illness are just part of aging when really they're being systematically drugged and robbed, who sign documents they don't understand because they're told it's for their own good. I speak to groups now, telling my story, and every time someone comes up to me afterward with tears in their eyes. My mother, they say, or my grandfather, or I think my sister might be doing this to my dad. That's when I know it was worth it. Every terrifying moment in that pharmacy consultation room, every second wearing that wire, every day of the trial, it was all worth it, because maybe, just maybe, I can help someone else see the signs before it's too late. Jennifer still works at Thompson's Pharmacy. I still get my prescriptions there once a month, like clockwork. Sometimes we have coffee afterward and talk about her kids, my volunteer work, the weather. She never asks if I've forgiven Amanda. She knows better. Because forgiveness isn't really the point. Justice was the point. Protection was the point. Making sure other people don't suffer the same fate, that's the point. I'm 66 years old. I'm a widow, a retired librarian, and a survivor, and I spend my days making sure other people survive too. That Tuesday afternoon when Jennifer locked the consultation room door changed my life. It saved my life. But more importantly, it gave me a purpose beyond just surviving. Sometimes I think about Amanda, sitting in that prison cell, and I wonder if she understands yet, if she's realized that the inheritance she wanted so badly cost her everything. Her freedom, her future, her father's legacy. I hope someday she does understand, not for her sake, but for mine, because I need to believe that people can change, can grow, can become better than their worst moments. But I also know that my job isn't to wait for her redemption. My job is to help protect the next person, and the next, and the next. So that's what I do. That's what Jennifer does. That's what Detective Morrison does. Still calling me sometimes to ask if I'll speak to other victims, help them find their courage. We're a team, the three of us. The pharmacist who noticed, the detective who investigated, and the widow who refused to be a victim. And together, we're making sure that when someone whispers, "Don't take that medication, please," someone's listening, because those words saved my life, and they might save someone else's too.